If you use AI in your coding workflows at all, I think this is worth checking out because Moonshot AI released Kimi K2 last week. And if you are trying to avoid generational debt to the foundational model providers, I think this is worth plugging into your workflows. So Kimi K2 is actually a 1 trillion parameter model, although it's notable that it's a sparse model, not a dense model. So it only has 32 billion active parameters, but it's still right up there with a lot of these models that are not open source. To me, the biggest difference I notice is that it's significantly slower. Either way, it's super easy to plug and chug with this. As you can see here, migrating from OpenAI or even Anthropic to Kimi API is as simple as just dropping in your Moonshot API key and then changing your base URL for completions to this one right here. So I want to demo this live, how I plug this into Claude Code to augment my workflows. I went ahead and dropped $10 into Moonshot, which I guess I got a $5 free voucher because I now have $15, but we're gonna go code up a little game and see what this costs. All right, so I think the best way to use this model is just plugging it into existing Claude Code. And I'm a religious Claude Code user. The only downside is it is insanely expensive. I think the only reasonable way to get value out of Claude Code is to pay the $100 or $200 plan. And again, the goal of this video is to avoid generational debt with Anthropic or OpenAI. In order to plug this into Claude Code, all you need to do is have Claude Code downloaded and working and use these two commands here with the base URL and your API key. From there, we're just gonna set up Claude as we typically would. But what you'll notice is that we have this override via the environment of our base URL is now Moonshot AI. So let's not fiddle around too much and get right to it. I'm just gonna ask it to go ahead and build a complete brick game. I put a couple requirements in here and give it instructions on maybe what components or packages to use. And from there, we're just gonna let it cook, do its thing. Okay, so we're back. It took about 2 minutes to complete, and you'll see it just made to-do lists similar to how Claude Code does. Went ahead and wrote that breakout game file. And then the one thing that wasn't working is for some reason I couldn't get the F5 key working. So I went ahead and I was kind of lazy and went into cursor and just asked it to change it to the enter key. But let's go ahead and check out how the game looks and then we'll see how expensive it was. All right, and this is gonna be high stakes because I have to play in front of the camera. But as you can see, for one shot, it did pretty good, making a game that respects physics pretty well. And I'm obviously not very good at. But let's see how much it costs. All right, here's what we're rocking with. That was a whopping 1.5 cents about. And I know this isn't a great demo because you don't really know how much Claude would have taken another service, but just from having used this to build, some package visualizers, like mini IDE, another little game, I'm seeing about a 5 to 10 times reduction in cost for equivalent task for Claude. Now, I will say I do think Claude Code is still ahead in terms of doing things more accurately and much, much faster. But if you're not trying to break the bank, definitely check this out. I think it's worth plugging in, and it's just too easy to not try. So let me know what you think.